Every evening, just as the sun began to set, an old woman named Alara walked to the park. She carried a small cloth bag in her wrinkled hand. In the bag, she kept a handful of copper coins. Not for herself, for the fountain. The fountain stood in the center of the park. It was old and made of stone. Water danced from the top and fell into a wide, shallow pool. Coins of all sizes lay at the bottom, catching the last light of the day. Wishes. Hundreds of them. Thousands. Alara had been coming to this fountain for 43 years. She knew its sounds. The gentle splash of water. The way the light played on the surface in different seasons. She knew the people who came too. There was the young mother who came every Tuesday with her son. He would stand on his toes and throw a coin with all his strength. His wish was always the same. A puppy. His mother smiled, but never made a wish for herself. There was the old man who came on Sundays. He wore a clean but faded jacket. He would sit on the edge of the fountain for a long time before throwing his coin. His hands would shake slightly. Then he would leave without looking back. Alara never asked them their wishes. That was not the way. A wish spoken aloud could lose its power. But she watched. And she remembered. On this particular evening, the air felt different. Cooler. The leaves on the trees had begun to turn gold and red. Autumn was coming. Alara sat on her usual bench near the fountain and waited. A young woman approached the fountain. She was perhaps 25 years old. She wore a blue dress and carried a small notebook. Her eyes were red from crying. Alara recognized that look. She had seen it many times before. Heartbreak. Disappointment. The weight of a dream that had not come true. The young woman stood at the edge of the fountain. She held a single coin in her palm. She looked at it for a long time. Then she looked up at the sky. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. She threw the coin. It spun in the air, caught the sunlight for a brief moment, and disappeared into the water with a soft plop. The woman did not leave. She sat down on the edge of the fountain and put her face in her hands. Her shoulders shook gently. Alara waited. She knew that sometimes people needed to be alone with their sadness. But she also knew that sometimes a small kindness could help. After a few minutes, Alara stood up. She walked slowly to the fountain. She sat down next to the young woman, leaving a respectful distance between them. She did not speak. The young woman looked up. Her face was wet with tears. She tried to smile but could not. Alara reached into her cloth bag. She took out a coin. She held it out to the young woman. "For you," Alara said softly. "For another wish." The young woman looked at the coin, then at Alara. Her eyes filled with fresh tears, but these were different. Softer. "Thank you," she whispered. "But I don't think wishes work." Alara smiled. She had heard this before too. Many times. "Come," Alara said. "Sit with me for a while. I will tell you about some wishes." They moved to the bench. The fountain continued its gentle song in front of them. Alara pointed to the water. "Do you see the coin near the edge? The shiny one?" The young woman looked. She nodded. "A girl threw that coin 15 years ago," Alara said. She was 16. She wanted to become a doctor. Her family had no money. Everyone told her it was impossible. What happened to her? She is a doctor now. She works at the children's hospital. She comes sometimes and throws a coin for her patients. The young woman's eyes widened. Alara pointed to another spot. "Do you see the old coin, green with age, near the center?" "Yes. A man threw that coin 30 years ago. He was a soldier going to war. He wished to come home safely. He came home. He got married. He had children. Now he brings his grandchildren to this park." The young woman was quiet for a long moment. "How do you know all this?" she asked. Alara laughed softly. "I have been sitting on this bench for 43 years. People talk to me, or they don't talk. But I see. I remember. The fountain holds all their wishes. I just hold their stories." The young woman looked at the fountain with new eyes. The coins at the bottom were no longer just metal. They were hopes, dreams, secret desires of the heart. "I wished for something impossible," the young woman said quietly. "What was it?" The young woman hesitated. Then she spoke. "I wanted to be a writer. I came to this city with nothing but my notebook. I have written every day for 2 years, but no one wants my stories. I received another rejection letter today, the 10th one. Alara nodded slowly. She understood. May I see your notebook? She asked. The young woman hesitated again. Then she handed it over. Alara opened it carefully. The pages were filled with handwriting. Some pages had been written and rewritten. Others had notes in the margins. It was clear that this young woman had poured her heart into these pages. Alara read a few lines, then a few more. She closed the notebook. You write about ordinary people, Alara said. The woman who sells flowers at the market. The boy who delivers newspapers. The old couple who walk hand in hand every morning. Yes, the young woman said. Those are the stories I love. Alara smiled. Those are the best stories. The small ones. The ones that most people overlook. She handed the notebook back. Come here tomorrow, Alara said. At the same time, I want to show you something. The young woman looked confused but nodded. She stood up to leave. Then she turned back. My name is Maya, she said. I am Alara. Maya smiled, a real smile this time. Then she walked away, clutching her notebook. The next evening, Maya returned. Alara was already on the bench, waiting. Next to her was a small box. Sit, Alara said. Watch. They watched the fountain together. People came and went. A family with 3 children. A teenager on his phone. An elderly couple holding hands. Do you see that man? Alara pointed to a middle-aged man in a gray coat. He walked slowly to the fountain. He took out a coin. He held it for a moment, then threw it. What is his wish? Maya asked. I do not know, but I know his story. His wife died last year. He comes every evening. He throws a coin and talks to her. He believes she can hear him. Maya watched the man. There was something beautiful in his loneliness. Something worth writing about. Do you see that woman? Alara pointed to a young woman pushing a stroller. She had a coin ready. She bent down and gave it to the toddler in the stroller. The little girl threw it with clumsy hands. It landed close to. That is the mother I told you about, Alara said. Her son finally got his puppy last year. Now she comes for her daughter. The daughter wishes for a kitten. Maya smiled. She pulled out her notebook and wrote something quickly. They sat together for an hour. Alara pointed. Maya watched. Maya wrote. When the sun had fully set and the fountain lights came on, Alara opened the box beside her. Inside were dozens of notebooks. Old, worn, filled with pages. What are these? Maya asked. 43 years of watching, Alara said. I cannot write stories myself. My hands are too old and shaky now. But I have watched. I have remembered. I have written down what I saw. The small moments. The wishes. The people. She took out one notebook and handed it to Maya. Take these, Alara said. Write the stories I cannot write. Give voice to the wishes in the fountain. Maya's eyes filled with tears. She took the notebook gently, as if it were made of glass. I cannot take these, she whispered. They are your memories. They are waiting for you, Alara said. Every person who threw a coin in this fountain has a story. Someone should tell them. You are that someone. Maya opened the notebook. The pages were filled with observations. Short notes. Descriptions of people. Dates. Times. Small details that brought each person to life. The man in the gray coat, Maya read softly. Comes every evening at 6:47. Throws coin. Lips move. Speaks to Maria. That was his wife's name, Alara said. Maya looked up at Alara. How did you know I needed this? Alara smiled. The fountain knows. I just listen. For the next month, Maya came to the park every evening. She sat with Alara. She read the old notebooks. She watched the fountain. She wrote. She wrote about the mother who wished for her son's happiness. She wrote about the teenager who wished for courage to talk to the girl he liked. She wrote about the old woman who wished for one more spring with her garden. She wrote about the man in the gray coat. She called her story, The Evening Visitor. It was about love that continues even after death. One evening, Maya came to the fountain with news. Her face was bright. She was almost running. Elara, Elara. Elara looked up from the bench. She smiled. She already knew. A publisher wants my stories, Maya said, holding a letter. A collection. They want to call it The Park Fountain Wishes. Elara nodded. Her eyes were wet. Sit down, Elara said. I have something else to show you. Maya sat. Elara pointed to the fountain. Do you see the new coin near the steps? The one that still shines. Maya looked. She saw it. A fresh coin, bright copper, resting at the bottom. That is my wish, Elara said softly. I threw it today. I wish that my stories would find a home, that someone would tell them after I am gone. Maya took Elara's hand. I will tell them. I promise. They sat together as the sun set. The fountain continued its gentle song. Coins sparkled in the fading light. Each one held a wish. Each wish held a story. And now those stories would be told. Years passed. Elara grew older and could no longer come to the park. But Maya came. Every evening, she sat on the bench. She watched the fountain. She wrote. The book became famous. People came from other cities to see the fountain. They threw coins and made wishes. They left flowers on the bench where Elara used to sit. On the first page of her book, Maya had written, For Elara, who taught me that wishes are not just hopes for the future. They are stories waiting to be told. The fountain still stands in the park. Water still dances from the top. Coins still rest at the bottom. And every evening, someone sits on the bench and watches. Sometimes, if you listen closely, you can hear the wishes. They sound like water. They sound like hope. They sound like the quiet beating of human hearts, reaching for something more. Elara passed away peacefully in her sleep one winter night. But her stories live on. In Maya's book. In the hearts of everyone who throws a coin. In the quiet moments between sunset and darkness, when the fountain lights come on and the world holds its breath. The park fountain continues to receive wishes. Generation after generation. Each coin a prayer. Each splash a possibility. And somewhere, on a bench nearby, someone is watching. Someone is remembering. Someone is writing it all down. Because wishes, like stories, deserve to live forever.